Amicus analysis. Amicus analysis. Amicus analysis. Amicus analysis.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Hammerheads, currently Amicus Analysis, which is the season we've decided to go for this time, which me and my friend Marcus Wilson, hello Marcus, are going to be covering, I think 17 or 18 Amicus movies. I think we're on episode 12 now. Which film are we on this time, Marcus?
We're on Asylum, 1972. Or Some Crazies, as we call this in the US.
Nice and sort of sensitive. Yes. By the way, sorry we've been away so long. It's been one of those summers where just lots and lots seems to have happened. Sort of good and inevitable, like family stuff, health stuff. We're both fine. I made a movie. I managed to get another movie made, which is cool. And I'm making another one in a month. Marcus has been away to Canada and also working his bum off. So everyone's very busy.
I have been donating bloodletting today. So apology appropriate, a little lightheaded.
Marcus. He's fainted.
For the backdrop, I appear to be in a Robert Palmer video from the 1980s.
Oh, yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Just bring a bunch of singers on with shorthand. Dun, dun, dun. I watched Asylum this afternoon. It's actually on YouTube. You can watch the whole thing on YouTube, which is true of a lot of Amicus and Hammer movies. I think it was quite a good print as well, actually. I didn't mind the quality of it. Because I can't afford to buy every single film on Blu-ray, for God's sake. I will buy the really good ones though. And there's actually a 4K rescan of Dracula coming out soon, which Marcus and I really want to go and see, probably in the cinema, if we can. Looks amazing. But yeah, Asylum 1972. I feel like we've covered 1972 quite a lot in the last few episodes.
I think Amicus seemed to be doing quite a lot in 1972, and I think this particular film, I think it was sort of shot in about 15 weeks or something like that, or it was shot and then out at the cinema within 15 weeks.
Oh, right.
It was dirt cheap to make, and they got to such a point where they were, so they managed to do it on a really tight schedule in a way that I think they were able to have every actor on site probably only for just 2 days to record, and it just meant that they could pay decent daily rates and get really good talent, and you've got lots of big names in this particular film.
Yeah.
And it doesn't break the bank, and this was one of their cheaper films to make because they just
Yes, and you can tell it's very slickly done, but it's very unspecial special effects, I would say.
It's
in fact,
£50,000 to make.
Wow.
24 days.
Gosh.
Yeah,
it does have some phenomenal actors in, and well, let's start at the beginning. I like the fact that it starts with, like most Hammer or Amicus movies, at least the first few start with a horse-drawn carriage going through a wood, but in this case, you've got a fancy sports car zooming through the wood with Robert Powell at the wheel, and so you're in good hands with Jesus driving. And I really like that. I was like, I'm sure that was a deliberate reference to the horse and cart.
I think so. But Amicus are always a bit more up to date. They're less gothic. They're more based in the modern day.
Yeah, and they have had a lot of modern day ones. This is a very sort of Twilight Zone Monkey's Paw sort of. It's another portmanteau, and it's one of those. It's got 4 and a wraparound. Is that right? 4 stories and a wraparound.
Stories and a wraparound, which kind of ends up being a bit of a story in its own right in this.
Yeah, it did remind me of The House That Dripped Blood. Again, it's a good formula, isn't it? It's got that introduction where you kind of go, I know we're going to come back to this, and I know it will be relevant to the story at the end, and I know we're going to meet each episode. We're going to meet someone new that's relevant to the beginning and end, and you do. And yeah, in this case, Robert Powell is Dr. Martin, not the inventor of the shoes. And he's come to a sanitary a booby hatch to to basically to find this doctor that's sort of he's sort of assimilated himself into the crazy house, and he's charged by the owner to go and find out. And I thought it was going to be like a sort of what's the film, Shutter Island type movie, where you're like, it's either it's all in his mind, or he's the sorry if you haven't seen Shutter Island, or he's the he's the doctor, Robert Powell or something. But I did sort of guess as it went on, quite early on, who the doctor was. His goal is to find the doctor.
So the wraparound this time, yeah, it has a bit more. It has a bit more to it, and it has a bit of a mystery in it, and it sort of asks the audience to get involved in a way that we're all there trying to work out. Okay, so the doctor, this Dr. B Star, has been banished to the attic because he's gone mad.
Yeah.
And we're sending this new doctor up to talk to the patients, and we're going to have to work out who Dr. B Star, which of them is Dr. B Star.
Yeah.
And this reminded me of a certain later Amicus film where we're asked to get involved.
Yes.
With the
Yes.
break.
Yeah, you can tell if you're a regular listener, we're dying to get to. We're not dying to. We're enjoying all the films, and we've seen The Beast Must Die probably about 10 times each, haven't we? But we are looking forward to that one. But that was sort of towards the end of the run. But yes, me too. It reminded me of, oh, this is going to be a whodunit, because he sort of goes, your task is to find the doctor amongst them, and it's like, and then he meets the orderly, and the orderly says, no clues. Like, oh, you bastards.
It's a bit like that movie Clue, and I think that's a 70s movie as well, isn't it? There was sort of this trend going on there that you tried to break the fourth wall and get the audience involved in somehow in the plot line, or working out what was going on.
It's early 80s, that one, actually, but I know yes, I'm a big fan of Clue. I think it's one of Tim Curry's best movies. Yes, it is. It's got that fun game element to it. So as soon as that settles in, you're like, oh, great. And then I must admit, as an overall film, I found this one of the loopiest films that we've watched. Was that because you sent me a text going, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. I mean, that means you think it's crazy, don't you? And it's really kind of laughably like goofy at times right from the start, isn't it? The first story is possibly the goofiest one.
It's kind of, I mean, it was shot in 24 days, but it almost feels like it was storyboarded and cobbled together in like 2 days or something.
It does.
Not quite really makes any internal sense, and there are plot holes in it that you could drive a hammer carriage through.
Or a sports car. Yeah, I thought the first one, it's the husband, the horrible husband and wife, and he is he just really resents the fact that he lives off her money, and she says, I'll never divorce you, even though you've had an affair, you'll never leave me. And so he says, come down to the basement, and she's like, all right then, don't do it, woman.
That really reminded me of, was it Tales from the Crypt, the first story with Joan Collins as well, because there's a basement in that as well. And
oh, that's true. It is very much like that, and it's about as good at that as well.
Death in the Basement.
Actually, no, that was better because it had Santa in it. At the end, it was a bit, hello, Dave. Yeah. And he clunks his wife over the head and throws her in the chest freezer. And you're like, well, I saw that coming. But then she's been going to this shaman, yogi, whatever, and got this magic bracelet. And because he puts her in the freezer with the bracelet on, she comes back to life. But he has chopped her up into bits. That's the sad thing.
You say that because he put her in the freezer with the bracelet on, as if it was some kind of scientific.
Yeah, he did. Everyone knows that old physics experiment. You put someone in a freezer, but if you leave the bracelet on, they will reanimate. But it was even so cheap as they didn't turn the freezer on at any point in the. So that looked really crap. And then when he goes in the freezer, and she opens it, he's just lying in a white box. That's like, that would be some kind of frosting effect might have been effective here. Do you know what I mean? But maybe he just so cheap he didn't want to turn the electricity on. But
there's a similar thing later when in the Peter Cushing segment where Peter Cushing's dead son is in this coffee I had like done his face up with like corpse makeup and had like his entire torso.
Yeah. That's the weird. It was almost like, here you go, amateur crew, have an Amicus movie and see how you do with it, because we can't be asked to make it properly. So like you've got all the disembodied legs and head, and that was actually the head in the bag was quite creepy. It's still breathing.
Yeah.
And but the legs, the clearly animatronic leg and arm flapping across the floor was really laughable.
Didn't really inspire terror, did it? So
No, it was funny. That's the thing. Like it was, goofy. At least the Joan Collins one had had a sort of a Christmassy ending. And then even then, like when she ends up like trying to axe the hand off her face, and she's the first patient Robert Powell sees, so you think, she's going to turn around, she's going to have this great big like gash in her face. She hasn't. It's barely anything there. It looks like she's been scratching her cheek. And she goes, and I was like, what?
It is a shame because we've got Robert Bloch writing, we've got Roy Ward Baker directing, who is like he's directed so many films by this point.
Yeah,
this incredible cast, but then there's got a really cheesy, awful, amateurish.
Yeah. And I feel like we don't generally roundly slag off these films because we always find something to enjoy, as we did with this one. But I think they waste the cast, definitely. We'll get to it, but I think Herbert Lom is probably the best actor in this. He's terrible, but they're all terrible. I mean, they're all awful. The stories are awful. I mean, the second one's sort of a bit more with Peter Cushing because first of all, you get some Peter Cushing, but he plays someone who it starts off with this sort of like this guy, and he can't pay his rent. He's a European. He's the weird tailor, and he has been running out of money, and he just doesn't have enough clients, and the landlord's just a complete git, and so he thinks, well, how am I going to do it? And then Peter Cushing shows up and says, I'd like to commission you to make this suit, but you have to do it in exactly the way I tell you, and gives him these weird handwritten instructions.
I don't know why they're calling him the weird tailor. It should be the weird tailor's customer, surely.
Yeah, he's not weird. He's just trying to make ends meet, isn't he?
Or the tailor customer.
Yeah, the tailor's weird customer. That's a strange title.
It seems to be. It just seems to be disrespectful of the tailor, who seems to be a perfectly normal guy trying to make a living.
He's just a working class stiff, He's just trying to run a shop. It reminded me a little bit of something like Rumpelstiltskin, like I will give you what you want if you make me this suit, but you have to do it in the way I expect it. And then he starts to make this suit, but he's only allowed to make it a certain amount each night. So he works for 4 nights to make it. And he has to do it to the exact. And it is a weird looking suit. And again, it's very strange because at one point he cuts himself with his needle and he bleeds on the shirt and the blood just disappears. So I thought, that's disappearing ink. He bleeds disappearing ink. So you think, okay, there's something magical or sinister about this suit. And I thought it'll be some kind of revenge story, actually. I thought it was going to be a revenge story, like he was going to get revenge on the landlord or something, or the suit was going to come into. I didn't really think he'd have his dead son in a coffin in the spare room. But like you say, when you do see the dead body, it's just a really like pale head and a normal coloured rest of body.
Well, yeah, the tailor goes to this Mr. Smith, Peter Cushing, who's commissioned this suit to try and say, right, I've finished it. I need the money now. I need to pay my landlord. And Mr. Smith said, oh, I don't have any money.
Yeah, it's a typical client.
Says something like, but I will have money. I just need to kind of reanimate my dead son. Like Ed was expecting the dead son to do when he reanimates them, and make some money for him or something. Where's the money coming from? I don't know.
Yeah, there's the thing in these films is people sort of think, once I've achieved this goal, everything will click into place. I'm like, it won't, mate. You've lost your marbles. Having a reanimated son is not going to bring you wealth incarnate, I'm afraid.
and again, the whole mechanics and physics of the magical suit aren't really explained. Why the suit, where the magic came from, and why it might reanimate his son.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a weird.
Seems to have spent all of his money on this magic book.
Yeah.
which is
And
why he
he,
doesn't
and
have any money. But if he
basically, yeah,
had a book,
he just lives in an empty house with a magic book and his dead son in a coffin. And then obviously the son does come to life. But it's like all of the conceits in this movie are really weird. The suit is weird.
yeah,
The dismembered corpse, fair enough, but there's no real gore in it or anything. And I must admit, yeah, the head of the wife in the bag, breathing in and out with the flap going in and out, that was quite creepy. But it was also funny. And then later on, the dolls and what's the third one?
oh, the third one is Lucy comes to stay. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah,
Oh yeah, Lucy comes to stay. Again, it's all a bit the concepts are a bit loose.
they don't really add up, do they? I mean,
No.
I thought that it would be something like, oh well, the suit is made of some kind of devil skin or something like
Yes.
that, or some kind of the skin of murdered something or other. But
Yeah.
it just looks like this silver thing, like Brian Eno would wear in the 1970s or something.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does look actually. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. It's got a kind of weird collar and a.
The Taylor's wife.
Yeah.
She finds out that they haven't got the money,
Yeah.
and the guy says, "No, we have to burn the book. We have to burn the suit." And
Mm.
his wife's going, "No, we have to put the suit on the mannequin in the window."
Yeah.
Which
Obviously.
I don't quite understand why, because
No.
you're not going to make that particular suit. You don't have any more of that material, presumably.
No.
But yeah,
Yeah.
obviously reanimates the mannequin.
Yeah. And there's a big fight, and the Taylor ends up killing Peter Cushing, which is shocking.
Yes.
But again, it's all just it's very sort of murky. It's sort of like it looks okay, and some of the shots are really nice, but it just kind of looks murky, and the story is murky, and it's murky. I would describe this movie. Murky and goofy are the two adjectives I would use to describe this movie.
I mean, the Amicus tends to do like morality tales, really.
Yeah.
Like this one, I can't quite work out what the moral of the story is. Like a lot of these, I'm not going to quite sure what the moral is.
No, that's it. That's it. The moral's missing. So the first one would be fine. Don't murder your wife.
Yes. Fair
And that's been done before. Don't get revenge thinking that you've got away scot-free because it'll come back to bite you in the ass. Fair enough. It was just goofily done. This one, God knows what the moral is. There isn't one. Don't reanimate the dead. The doll one, which we'll come to, heaven alone knows what the moral of that one is. And this he just maybe just wanted to work with Herbert Lom.
The Peter Cushing, this last segment, the Weird Taylor, that seems to be for me the most substantial segment of the film.
I guess so.
It's
Yeah.
a proper little movie in its own right. It could have been stretched to an hour or something, but
Yeah. I guess so.
Lucy Comes to Stay just feels to be kind of a throwaway thing.
It does. I mean, it was actually beautifully shot, and Charlotte Rampling, what a babe! She was in her 20s. She was 26, I think, when she did this. She was really beautiful.
I think she looks like David Bowie circa 1973 or something.
She does look like Bowie, yeah. But she's just got these amazing cheekbones, really unusual beauty she has. And she's still in stuff. I mean, she's in all the Dune films. She's still very striking at 80 years old. She's 80 this year. But yeah, she was quite stunning. And Britt Eklund, yes. And they have some good scenes together. And who's the lad who plays Rampling's brother? He's good value.
James Villiers, is it?
James Villiers. He always plays sort of posh twit sort of types. And they're all like really gaslighting Charlotte Rampling, and she's like, "What? Hang on a minute. Why is there a nurse here? Why am I going to this house? Why do I have to go to bed in the middle of the day?" And that's quite creepy because that's got that closing sort of sense of claustrophobia. Like, what are you doing to her? Yes, and Britt Eklund is her friend who sort of turns up and tells her to do stuff, and gradually you start to think, hang on a minute, is there something dodgy going on here with Britt Eklund? Why is that? And you realize that gradually she is her, or actually sees her in the mirror. When she looks in the mirror, that's who she sees. And that was really good, actually. She's like laughing at the end, and she goes around doing stuff and says it's her friend who's doing it, and then realizes she is her friend. Which actually was quite fun.
But it must
Again,
have been done before by this point. You'd have thought that's been a story that's been done.
yeah, it's very like at the end you're like, oh, okay, fine. I mean, it looked very nice. The costumes were nice. The cinematography was nice, and it had very pretty actors in it.
But again, it's not really a morality tale, or it doesn't seem to have a message, or maybe this is just we're in an asylum, crazy things happen, and that's just what the film is.
Actually, this one did link to the asylum more. I thought, like, I suppose the first one where she axes herself in the face and she's going, "Oh, there was a hand reaching for me. That's why I axed myself in the face." You're like, okay, fine, I get it. She's got mental problems. Possibly she imagined it. And then the second one, I don't know, still bewildered by the second one. The third one, yeah, it could be, well, she's clearly in the asylum because she's got multiple personality disorder, and she's murders in one of her guises,
Yeah, and so they all kind of semi make sense as like
Sammy.
patients, but
Yeah.
but if we think about the wraparound for these three stories, just seem to be, these could never be the doctor in
No.
Attic. It was like, well, what you
No.
need to guess, because these people are obviously not the doctor in the Attic.
Yeah, despite the fact that what's his name, Patrick McGee at the beginning is the guy at the beginning, Dr. Rutherford, isn't it? Rutherford. And he says that he's been in a couple of Amicus films we've covered already, and he's also in Clockwork Orange.
That's right.
And he says, yeah, who says it's a man? It could be a woman. So we're supposed to think, oh, okay, it's probably one of the women then. But I did guess who it was as soon as the orderly opens the door and goes, "I'm the orderly." I was like, "You're not, are you?" You're the doctor. But it was just a guess. It was just a feeling. So, yeah, he was very good. He looked a bit like Spike Milligan.
So we should talk about the fourth segment, the mannequins of horror, or as I like to call it, the mannequins of hilarity.
Yes, it was hilarious, wasn't it? It was a bit, I mean, it was so seriously done that I ended up sort of like just watching the screen with a grimace for about 10 minutes going, what?
Herbert Lom does, to give him his due, he does sell it, even though
he does sell it. He's very good at playing creepy weirdos who are obsessive, and he's staring on his, and Vicky, when he was shouting, Vicky went, "Oh, that actor's got a great voice." He was a Czech actor, wasn't he, Herbert Lom? From Czechia, as it's now called. And great, obviously brilliant in the the Inspector Clouseau movies as Dreyfus. I just loved Herbert Lom in those movies. But yeah, this one is so weird. Like, I mean, it's almost like, I mean, it is Robert Bloch as well. What's the one we did a few months ago where it was Robert Bloch and it was like Psycho, and it was the guy who lives with his mother and there's puppets involved. He goes out killing, and yeah. Anyway, that one. My memory is not good this year. But that one. So I thought, oh, it'll be a bit like that, and then you kind of draw it in because he's like, look at these creepy little dolls. This one's got my face. I'm going to put my consciousness in it. And Robert Powell is like, anyway. But then yeah, it's that sort of leads, as they tend to do, into the last segment where Rutherford gets stabbed by one of the little dolls with Herbert Lom's face. Herbert Lom's like meditating in his room and controlling the doll with his mind. And as these things go, it was cheesy as hell because the dolls are terrible. But I suppose it was quite creepy, but it was sort of inevitable and weird. Like I wasn't like emotionally involved or creeped out by it at all.
Such a short little segment. He comes in, sees the doctor, like works out he's a doctor. It's like, oh yeah, it's him. He's the one. And we think that's going to be it. And it's like, oh, what have you done with Herbert Lom? That's like not a segment. But then,
that's my favorite film. What have you done with Herbert Lom?
Yeah, I know. But then that fourth segment morphs into the wraparound. And
and he kills Rutherford. Robert Powell stamps on the doll, therefore killing Herbert Lom and spilling his guts everywhere.
And how do you? There wasn't here. There's no explanation of how the guts got into the Transformer doll type things.
No, because he sort of he said he's put his consciousness in there, but he's also, well, he does say my body is in there. So I'm like, oh, okay, I don't understand this science. And then there's the bit at the end with it where he finds a strangled man in bed. And I thought that was Robert Powell, and it was like, oh no, but it was the last guy.
It was
And then
The Last Orderly, yes.
The Last Orderly, and then yeah, there's a sort of nice bit at the end which again reminded me of House of the Drip Blood Warrior. The doctor, the orderly rather, or the doctor, is welcoming someone else back in, and you're like, oh, this is all going to happen again, and it's just, this place is fill up with loopies. I wondered if they hoped for a sequel where there were different characters in each room.
Please God, no.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's quite highly rated for an Amicus movie, and it's quite well regarded. But I'd like to read some reviews and stuff. They do. It wasn't my favorite, I have to say. I don't know. Great cast.
The wraparound could have worked really well if the segments had been chosen better to throw you off the scent a bit more. That anyone could be doctors or something.
That's the thing, that considering it was a plot and a whodunit and a guess who the doctor is, it didn't give you that much as part of the thing. So an odd one.
The film you were thinking about was The Psychopath, with the mom, the son, and all of the dolls and stuff.
Oh, The Psychopath. Yes, yeah. Sorry, I missed that. You're right, and it was very sub-Psycho, which is fine because Robert Bloch wrote Psycho as well, so we'll give him that. Yeah. Great cast is probably the highest compliment I'll pay Asylum.
I definitely read about cast members who were not too happy to have appeared in this one.
Oh, that's the same with the John Pertwee one, wasn't it? Is that some people thought it was they were getting a bit cheesy. Here's a question: are there any more portmanteau movies in our list? I'll ask Kermit. Kermit, are there any more portmanteau movies in our list of Amicus films?
Apparently there are, yes.
Okay.
The very next one, in fact, The Vault of Horror.
Oh, Vault of Horror. Ah, now that better be better than this one.
Which is also a Roy Ward Baker, right?
Roy Walker.
Yes.
Can you tell what it is yet?
I think this one was Robert Bloch's last movie. So
okay.
As well, we've got Terry Thomas, Tom Baker.
Yeah. Nice.
We've got Glynis Johns.
Oh, amazing.
Denham Elliott.
Oh, wow. He was in the last episode, wasn't he, Denham Elliott? So we will have had 3, I think, doctors. We've already had John Pertwee. We've had Patrick Troughton, and we'll be getting Tom Baker now.
Cushing.
Of course, Cushing. Yeah, let's not forget Cushing was in actually the Amicus Doctor Who's.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. As everyone, leave some comment. Let us know what you think about these movies. Have me and Miles gotten this entirely wrong? Is this the best film you've ever seen?
If so, we must have a discussion. But thanks so much for those who have waited for a new episode, and please spread the word. And we love you all. So we'll be back next time, a lot sooner. We always say that, don't we? But we won't be like 2 or 3 months next time with
The Vault of Horror.
I love it. Bye-bye.